Hey guys, it's Argon. Okay, so I just finished Dawntrail's role quests relatively recently, and man, I just have to say I was pretty underwhelmed. And I just wanted to rant about the role quests a little bit because honestly, I don't see many people online talk about the role quests. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they are terrible or anything. I just wish they had a bit more relevance to the MSQ and general story of Dawntrail. This is now the third expansion where we had role quests instead of job quests. And listen, at this point, I just can't deny that they have gotten worse, in my opinion. And I don't like being that person who is always like, oh, Shadowbringers is so amazing, and everything that Dawntrail does sucks. No, I don't like being that person. But like, I can't deny that the role quests in Shadowbringers were so good. They really felt like they mattered to the overall plot and MSQ. And they did really matter because if you did all of the role quests from Shadowbringers, they added a lot of context to Endwalker's patches. Sure, they weren't absolutely essential or anything, but they were such a cool way to set up the player for the MSQ's future. They also really fleshed out the world of the first and the 14 universe as a whole. Now, in Dawntrail, I just don't believe they accomplished that. Dawntrail's role quests instead felt like this side story that I don't think is ever really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Listen, I could be wrong, and maybe in 8.0 we'll find out that it was really that bunny girl who is really the main antagonist for the next big story arc. I don't think that is going to happen. In my opinion, I really did not like how they treated the role quests this time around. Like they are just this little side thing that you don't really have to do. Meanwhile, in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, the role quests felt like they had purpose and you had a reason to do them. But in Dawntrail, the role quests felt like they were a bit more thrown together and a lot more lighthearted and even slapstick at times, which is fine, and I even liked the slapstick humor. And if you were going to make a more comedic role quest series, I guess putting it in Dawntrail would make the most amount of sense, because this is supposed to be the vacation expansion after all, right? But it just felt more like, well, we have to do role quests this expansion because we have to. The last two expansions had them. Look, let me demonstrate a little bit on how the role quests were better in the past two expansions. In Shadowbringers, the goal of the role quests were to basically meet and put the rest the souls of the Warriors of Light on the first, while also meeting these NPCs who kind of felt like mentors to the Warrior of Light. Kind of how job quests sort of felt. At least to me, they felt like mentors. At least some of them. And then for the capstone quests, with those travelers we met along the way, we learn about what happened to the 13th and how it succumbed to darkness. We also learn more about the Void and the Void Sent. Hell, we even involved characters we met all the way back in A Realm Reborn. This was all a fantastic setup for the Endwalker patches. And speaking of Endwalker, the Endwalker role quests were also good in my opinion. Not as good as Shadowbringers, but still good. For Endwalker, we are tasked with helping different regions of Atheris to defeat the beasts of the final days. This time we didn't really have mentor NPCs with us. Instead, we had the leaders of the nations accompany us for the most part. And I'm fine with that because at this point, does the Warrior of Light really need mentors? Like, we literally defeat the entire concept of despair in this expansion. And since Endwalker is supposed to be this sort of like celebration of all the expansions combined, it would make sense that we would be with the characters that we met along the way. So the role quest series felt like a great wrap up to the entire MSQ in my opinion, because you help all the people you met along the way defend their nation from these monsters of despair. And I felt like there were genuine character arcs concluded, like for Dola, for example. Now, the capstone quests, as I recall, aren't terribly important. However, you do learn about what will become of some of Garlemald's people, and how some of them are basically gonna decide to live on the moon now, with probably Nero leading them. Then there's Dawntrail, and the premise is basically this. There are 5 people going around the realm causing mischief. Stop them. And oh yeah, it turns out in the end the leader of the group causing all of this mischief did all of that because she didn't want to pay rent. Yeah, that is seriously the reason why. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, I think it's fine if the devs wanted to do a more lighthearted role quest series, but what made the role quests so cool to me was the fact that they were super MSQ relevant. And I would be extremely surprised if Dawntrail's role quests matter in the future. In fact, I would almost guarantee they won't ever matter in the MSQ. Besides the one non-consequential dialogue option in 7.1, they will probably only ever be referenced in future side quests. Now, I did a little bit of research for this video, which mostly consisted of scrolling Reddit. I saw some people say that they wanted to bring back job quests, and I just have to say, sadly, that job quests will never happen again. I do also wish that I could catch up with the job quests NPCs, but man, from a developer's perspective, that would be so many job quests, because we have so many jobs in the game, and we're going to get even more, so it's only going to increase over time. At most, I can see them do one-off quests for jobs, but even that, I don't see that happening. I'm sorry, but they will never be bringing job quests back, so we're kind of stuck with role quests, whether we like it or not. So in that case, I am fine with role quests, but the ones in Dawntrail just felt so forced, which makes me sad because I thought Shadowbringers and Endwalker's role quests were so good. I also saw somebody on Reddit compare them to the Hildebrand quests, which I would agree with, because they very much have the same sense of humor. And I agree with this person in the thread. At least with Hildebrand, it felt more like I was expecting it to be wacky. Meanwhile, in the role quests, like, people died. Like, people got murdered. Then they wanted me to not take the quests seriously. So like, the tone of the role quest just felt off as well. I know some people might just watch this video and be like, dude, they're just role quests, they don't matter that much. But like, to me, as a casual who likes leveling up jobs, they matter to me. I like doing them. I like having the process of leveling up jobs and experiencing these cool little side stories that, you know, a lot of times are MSQ relevant. It almost feels like an expansion of the MSQ already. And once again, honestly, I don't see many Final Fantasy XIV content creators talk about them, but I care about them, so I wanted to make a video on it. I also wanted to bring up the fact that they made you complete at least one role quest in Shadowbringers in order to continue the MSQ. So you know that the developers wanted you to complete the role quests. I never saw this, but I bet you somebody complained about that to Square Enix, and now as a result, the role quests have become less important. I have absolutely no evidence to support that, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. Which, once again, I want to make this video to show that they matter to me. I don't know. Maybe I was spoiled by Shadowbringers and Endwalker, so I just assumed that the role quests moving forward would have these really cool tie-ins to the MSQ. Do you guys feel the same way about role quests? Am I way off on Dawntrail's role quests? Did you like them? See, I liked them, but by the end of them, I just felt so underwhelmed. And I would really like to see them go back to the way that they used to be written in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. However, I will say that I absolutely love this emote they added in with the quests. It is just so over the top, ridiculous, and funny. I use it all the time now, and I love it. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to make a more rambly video on this topic. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Final Fantasy XIV commentary, discussion, and analysis videos. See ya!